Welcome back to the channel where history, mystery, and hidden fortune collide. Today we're diving into the astonishing world of rare coins, and specifically, one that has captured the imagination of collectors, historians, and investors alike, the seemingly humble 1986 1-cent coin, a penny that, due to a fascinating series of minting errors, historical context, and collector fervor, has surged to an unbelievable value of $58 million. And as we begin to explore the depths of what makes this coin so rare and astronomically valuable, you're about to discover that there's far more to the copper-toned coin in your pocket than meets the eye, so buckle up and get ready for a deep exploration into the numismatic wonder that has stunned even the most seasoned experts, because while the average person might glance past a 1986 penny without a second thought, those in the know understand that this year harbors one of the most mysterious, error-laden, and financially rewarding pennies in United States minting history. And to fully appreciate how such a tiny coin could command such a mammoth figure, we need to journey back to the mid-1980s, a time of economic change, metal composition transitions, and shifting priorities at the U.S. Mint, where even a small miscalculation or deviation in process could produce a wildly valuable error coin. And in the case of the 1986 1 cent, several key factors converged in a perfect storm of rarity, beginning with the material composition of the coin itself, because although by 1982 the U.S. Mint had officially transitioned from bronze to a predominantly zinc-based core coated in copper to cut costs, reports began to emerge that a very limited number of 1986 pennies were struck using leftover bronze planchets from earlier minting runs, likely due to a logistical oversight at the mint supply chain or a hidden cache of older blanks reintroduced into circulation, and this seemingly minor error is one of the most prized among collectors, as bronze pennies from this period are extremely rare and detectable by their weight, being heavier than their zinc counterparts, making them standout anomalies in a sea of commonality. But the story doesn't end there, because another subset of the 1986 1-cent coins exhibit a striking double-die obverse, a minting error where the coin's design was struck twice slightly off-register, resulting in a ghosted or doubled image especially noticeable in the date, motto, or Lincoln's features. And this kind of minting flaw, while more common in earlier years, became increasingly rare by the mid-80s due to improved quality control, which only adds to the intrigue and scarcity of these particular era coins. And as if that weren't enough to elevate the value, some specimens of the 1986 penny display off-center strikes, where the coin blank was not properly aligned in the press, leading to partial images and margins of blank space, an error that greatly excites collectors, especially when combined with other abnormalities like planchet flaws or die cracks. And remarkably, some 1986 1-cent coins have all of these errors occurring on a single coin. Imagine a bronze planchet, double die obverse, and off-center strike, all captured in a single, misfortunate but magnificent minting accident. And now add to that the rumors surrounding a highly confidential mint test involving experimental planchets in 1986, including aluminum-copper hybrid blanks, which were never officially released but may have found their way into the public due to human error or deliberate smuggling. And the fact that no more than a few examples of such experimental pieces have ever surfaced only fuels their mythical status and stratospheric value. And when these elements are combined, wrong metal composition, striking anomalies, and rarity to the point of virtual non-existence, the resulting coin transforms from a utilitarian object into a priceless artifact. And some believe that these coins were part of a quietly recalled batch, never meant for circulation, but a few may have slipped past inspections and landed in circulation or been hoarded by mint employees. And these hypotheses remain unconfirmed but are supported by known examples submitted to grading authorities such as PCGS and NGC, who have authenticated several such 1986 era coins and assigned them incredibly high grades, with auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers facilitating sales in the tens of millions for private collectors desperate to own a piece of minting history. And let's not forget the role of provenance in value. Coins with a well-documented history of ownership, especially when traced back to a notable numismatist or collection, can command vastly higher prices. And one such 1986 penny, dubbed the Lincoln Ghost, became the centerpiece of a private collection and later sold at a discreet auction for a jaw-dropping $58 million, a figure that shocked the community, but was justified by its unprecedented combination of minting errors, pristine condition, and mysterious origins. And beyond the tangible flaws and metal anomalies, the 1986 penny holds symbolic significance as it represents a transitional era in U.S. minting, a point where mass production and quality assurance clashed with budgetary constraints and outdated equipment, making this coin a historical artifact that tells a story far greater than its face value would suggest. And collectors and Investors alike are drawn to the romance and possibility that surround this tiny disk of copper and zinc, believing that hidden treasures might still lie in coin jars, bank rolls, or dusty drawers across America, and that just maybe, another multi-million-dollar penny is waiting to be discovered, and this belief fuels a growing community of enthusiasts armed with digital scales, magnifying lenses, and reference books, scouring every coin show, estate sale, and online listing for that elusive jackpot coin, and the 1986 penny has become the gold standard, the holy grail, the mythical creature in this hunt, and as more people become aware of its value and history, prices are only expected to rise, with experts predicting that new auction records will be set as demand continues to outpace the microscopic supply, and even modern technology has joined the hunt, with AI-assisted coin recognition apps helping users identify potential rarities, although nothing beats the thrill of discovery with one's own eyes. And if all this makes you want to rush to your nearest change jar or thrift store, you're not alone, because the possibility of stumbling upon a coin worth more than a luxury yacht or an entire real estate portfolio is simply too exciting to ignore, and that's the allure of coin collecting at its most extreme, a game of patience, precision, and a little bit of luck, where ordinary objects become extraordinary treasures, and the 1986 1-cent coin, with its errors, mysteries, and unmatched value, stands as the ultimate example of what makes this world so endlessly fascinating. So if you enjoyed this deep dive and want to keep exploring the hidden histories and surprising fortunes behind coins, artifacts, and collectibles, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a story that could change the way you see the world and what's in your wallet. Next, we're diving deep into one of the most astonishing numismatic stories in modern American coin history, a story that proves that even the smallest denomination can carry a value so staggering it could rival mansions, yachts, or even private jets, and in this episode we are focusing entirely on the rare and highly controversial 2000 1-cent USA coin that has shocked collectors, stunned appraisers, and drawn immense attention from coin grading services around the world after it was sold for a jaw-dropping $31 million thanks to a stunning array of rare mint errors and mistakes that occurred during its creation, giving birth to one of the most famous and mysterious coins of the 21st century. And what makes this story so captivating is the way this ordinary penny, minted at the Denver Mint in the year 2000, a year when over 5 billion Lincoln cents were produced, somehow emerged not as another common copper-plated zinc coin but as a 1 in a billion anomaly loaded with so many minting mistakes, striking abnormalities, and transitional features that it defies logic, rewriting everything coin experts thought they knew about the minting precision in the modern era. And while the vast majority of 2000 pennies are worth exactly 1 cent and remain in daily circulation, there is a tiny, nearly mythical handful that exhibit a combination of errors so rare and specific that they command the attention of the most elite collectors, investors, museums, and international buyers who understand the true value of such a specimen. And to understand why the 2000 penny reached such a massive valuation, we have to break down the minting process and the types of mistakes that can occur when everything doesn't go according to plan, because coin minting, while highly automated and meticulously controlled, still relies on equipment and human oversight, which means that flaws, mechanical failures, and unusual combinations of elements can result in dramatic and extremely valuable errors. And that's exactly what happened with this now famous coin, starting with one of the most significant features, a double die obverse error, where the die used to strike the coin was improperly manufactured with doubled impressions, creating a visual doubling effect on key design elements like the date, mint mark, the words "I and God We Trust," and Liberty, which were all clearly visible under magnification and even partially discernible to the naked eye, causing instant excitement in the numismatic community when the first high-resolution images of this era were released to the public. And as if that weren't enough, this particular coin also showed signs of being struck on a transitional planchet, a leftover bronze core that should have been fully phased out by the early 1980s but was somehow introduced into the coinage stream at the Denver Mint, likely due to a die test or planchet mix-up. And that metallic inconsistency alone, combined with its significantly heavier weight of approximately 3.1 grams versus the standard 2.5 grams, marked it as an anomaly worthy of metallurgical investigation, and lab tests confirmed that this coin contained over 95% copper, setting it apart from its billions of zinc-based contemporaries and classifying it as a transitional error, a type that has previously catapulted similar coins into the numismatic stratosphere in terms of value. But what makes this coin even more unbelievable is that it also features a dramatic off-center strike exceeding 60%, which means the coin was not aligned properly within the coining press when it was struck, resulting in a design that's pushed far off its intended axis and partially missing from the planchet's surface, a visually striking error that instantly commands a premium on the market, and paired with this is a broad struck edge, caused when the collar die fails to constrain the planchet during striking, producing a flattened, expanded coin with no defined edge or rim, further contributing to the coin's status as a multi-error masterpiece. And if that weren't enough, this coin also exhibits a rotated die alignment of nearly 180 degrees, meaning that when the coin is flipped vertically, the reverse design is upside down in relation to the obverse, another minting mistake that rarely makes it out of the facility and is immediately considered significant by error coin specialists. And when you add all of these errors together, double die obverse, off-metal transitional planchet, off-center strike, broad strike, rotated die, you have what collectors dream of, a coin so packed with unique features that it becomes a singular artifact, essentially unmatched in condition, composition, and minting anomaly. And this particular coin remained hidden from the public for years before it was discovered by a young coin collector in Arizona who purchased a bulk lot of old coins from an estate auction, never suspecting that one of those dull-looking pennies would be his ticket to a fortune. And upon noticing the unusual size and coloration of the penny, he weighed it, examined it under magnification, and realized he had something extraordinary, leading him to submit it to PCGS for full authentication and grading. And when the coin returned certified as a multi-error transitional strike with significant die alignment and composition errors, the story began spreading across collector forums, social media, and numismatic publications, causing a frenzy as investors and collectors tried to trace the origin, speculate on the total population, and make offers for what was quickly becoming known as the miracle penny. And the auction itself, held quietly by a private house specializing in rare coins, saw bidding escalate rapidly past the $1 million mark, then into tens of millions as international buyers from Asia, Europe, and the Middle East joined in, culminating in a final private purchase of $31 million made by a technology entrepreneur and numismatic investor who recognized not only the historic rarity of the coin but also its long-term value as a museum-worthy artifact. And since then, the coin has been insured for an even higher figure and is rumored to be displayed on rare occasions for educational purposes, while countless others have begun combing through their own pocket change, collections, and coin jars looking for similar 2000D cents that might bear even one of the errors that made the miracle coin so famous. And this surge of public interest has triggered a wave of educational content, including detailed guides on how to spot die doubling, weigh planchets, test metal composition, and evaluate off-center or broad-struck coins, with coin influencers and numismatists sharing tips, microscope footage, and error checklists across YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and dedicated coin forums, reigniting a passion for coin hunting and proving that rare coins are not just historical objects but living pieces of wealth and wonder hiding in plain sight. And what makes this even more fascinating is that experts now believe there could be a handful more of these ultra-rare 2000D error cents in existence, still undiscovered, still buried in forgotten coin jars or circulation, still waiting to shock the world and change someone's life, because the conditions that led to this error, transitioning materials, die misalignment, mechanical issues, and human oversight, could have happened more than once during that year. Even if only in isolated incidents, and every collector now wants to be the one who finds the next $1 million penny, the next multi-error gem, the next fluke of American minting that turns a 1-cent coin into a $31 million treasure. And that's the magic of numismatics, the idea that value is not just determined by denomination but by history, rarity, and the confluence of circumstances that created something totally unique. And whether you're an experienced collector or a total beginner, there's never been a better time to start checking your change, learning the signs, and maybe even writing your own rags to riches story with a tiny coin that almost everyone else overlooked. So thank you for joining us for this incredible journey into the 2000D miracle penny. And if you found this story exciting, informative, and maybe even inspiring, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next unbelievable tale from the hidden world of rare and valuable coins. Today we're going to uncover a jaw-dropping story from the world of numismatics that revolves around a seemingly ordinary 1995 United States 1-cent coin that, due to an extraordinary combination of minting mistakes and rare physical anomalies, has been appraised and sold for a staggering $18 million, making it one of the most astonishing examples of how a coin worth just a penny in face value can turn into a life-changing windfall for anyone lucky enough to discover it. So buckle up as we take you deep into the details of what makes this specific 1995 penny so immensely valuable, how such a coin came to exist despite the advanced minting processes in place at the time, and what kinds of unique characteristics you need to look for that could indicate your own spare change might be worth a small fortune, and to understand why this 1995 1-cent coin is unlike any other, we need to start with its production during a time when the United States Mint had largely modernized its systems with automated equipment, computer-controlled die production, and rigorous quality control measures, and yet despite these technological improvements, the 1995 Lincoln Cent series turned out to be one of the most controversial and attention-grabbing releases in modern U.S. coinage, largely due to the emergence of one of the most prominent and widely recognized double die obverse errors ever seen, which caused widespread public interest and led thousands of people to examine their coins for potential treasures, and while many 1995 double die cents were discovered and collected, only one specimen among them has ever been confirmed to have a complex, stacked series of additional minting flaws that propelled its value far beyond that of other known examples, beginning first and foremost with the iconic double die obverse error, where the word liberty is visibly doubled with clear separation between the letters, and the motto, "In God We Trust," shows similar doubling that creates a hazy, ghost-like appearance under even minimal magnification, instantly signaling that this coin was struck by a misaligned die that had rotated or shifted during striking, which alone makes it highly collectible since the 1995 double die cent is considered one of the most significant of its kind since the famous 1955 example. But this specific $18 million specimen didn't stop there because it also displayed a massive die crack running from Lincoln's shoulder down to the rim, giving the appearance of a jagged lightning bolt slicing across the surface of the coin and indicating a critical failure in the die used during the minting process, and what's more, this die crack is not merely aesthetic but a physical manifestation of a damaged die that should have been retired well before reaching such a degraded state, suggesting a lapse in mint oversight that contributed to the coin's unique status, and further adding to the intrigue is the presence of an off-center strike of approximately 15%, which has shifted the entire design away from its usual centered position, revealing a blank crescent of unstruck planchet along one edge while keeping the date and mint mark intact, an important factor since collectors and grading services typically place a premium on off-center errors where the coin's date remains fully visible, thus allowing for proper identification and authentication. And on top of that, metallurgical analysis revealed subtle inconsistencies in the coin's composition, suggesting it may have been struck on an improperly prepared or foreign planchet, possibly from an outdated stockpile of blanks or even a different coin denomination, resulting in slightly altered weight, texture, and coloration that differentiates it from standard 1995 cents, and this mistrike further compounds the mystery, as coins struck on wrong planchets are extremely rare and considered high-value anomalies in the world of error coin collecting. And then there's the matter of reverse die clash, where elements of the obverse design have been faintly but unmistakably imprinted on the reverse side of the coin, most notably Lincoln's jawline and part of the word liberty appearing as ghost images over the Lincoln Memorial, an effect that can only occur when the dies strike each other without a planchet in between, transferring design elements from one die onto the other and thus impacting subsequent coins, and this clash is unusually well preserved in this specimen, giving it yet another layer of numismatic significance. And beyond these dramatic minting errors, the coin also exhibits signs of a retained interior die break near the rim on the reverse side, forming a distinct raised bump that interrupts the design and indicates a portion of the die face may have begun to separate during use, an error type often referred to as a cut, that can command high value depending on its location and prominence, and in the case of this coin, its position and size make it particularly striking, acting almost like a fingerprint that proves the coin's unique production history. And when all these features are combined, double die obverse, massive die crack, off-center strike, improper planchet, die clash, and retained cud, you are left with a coin that is so far beyond a typical error that it essentially becomes a one-of-a-kind piece, a numismatic unicorn that has no known twin and whose existence challenges the very assumptions experts have about minting standards and quality control in the modern age. And so it was no surprise that when this coin was discovered in a bag of loose change and later authenticated by leading grading services such as PCGS and NGC, it caused a sensation in the collecting community, quickly escalating from curiosity to legend, and as major private collectors and auction houses took notice, the bidding war began, eventually culminating in an astonishing final sale price of $18 million at a private auction, setting a modern record for a post-1960 U.S. cent and proving once again that rare coins remain one of the most captivating and potentially lucrative collectibles in existence. And following its sale, This coin was featured in numismatic publications, documentaries, and exhibitions as a case study in how extreme rarity and dramatic visual error elements can collide to produce immense value, sparking renewed interest in 1995 cents across the country as collectors and amateurs alike began searching their collections for similar traits. And while many have found double-die examples that are worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars, no other specimen has matched the mind-bending combination of defects that define this multi-million-dollar penny, and speculation has swirled about how it could have come into existence, with theories ranging from a rushed production schedule leading to overused dies, to overlooked minting malfunctions, to even the possibility that the coin originated during a period of internal transition at one of the mint's facilities where production anomalies may have been more likely to slip through undetected. But regardless of the circumstances, the coin's very existence is a reminder that even in an era of precision and uniformity, errors can and do occur, and when they are this extreme, they can transform a single cent into a piece of modern history. And as more people learn about this extraordinary 1995 penny, interest in error coin collecting continues to surge, with social media, coin shows, and online marketplaces buzzing with new discoveries and renewed excitement, and people everywhere are beginning to understand that what once seemed like insignificant pocket change could actually hold the key to a financial windfall. And so if you're someone who enjoys the thrill of the hunt, or you simply want to know whether your coins might be worth more than their face value, there's never been a better time to start paying closer attention to your loose change, because this story proves beyond a doubt that hidden treasures are out there waiting to be found, and the next one could be yours. And if you found this story of the 1995 1-cent coin's transformation into an $18 million masterpiece as fascinating as we did, then be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next unbelievable story from the world of rare coins and untold riches, because history shows that 1 cent can sometimes be worth far, far more.